Hey there, good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. We're here on Monday nights to look back at a classic rock album, and I've picked one that I wasn't so sure I was going to do this at one point, but I mean, it's got some of their strongest stuff. It's pretty hard not to include this in a look back at a classic rock album, and we're talking about Bachman Turner Overdrives 2, or if you prefer, Bachman Turner Overdrive for those more modern people who want to correct everything. Anyways, this album was released on December doesn't give the day actually. Released December 1973, their second studio album after reforming as BTO on the first album from Brave Belt. So this was recorded at the K. Smith Studios in Seattle, Washington. It's about 39 minutes in length, so a reasonable length, on the Mercury label, and produced by Randy Bachman. Appearing on the album as BTO are the brothers Bachman, Tim Bachman on rhythm guitar and lead vocals, Randy Bachman on lead vocals and lead guitar, and Robbie Bachman on drums and percussion, and then C.F. Turner, Freddie Turner on bass and lead vocals as well. So this is the original inclination of the band, with the three Bachman brothers singing, well, at least two of them singing here anyways. The album, it has its highlights and has its lowlights for sure. Of the four original Bachman Turner Overdrive albums, I think this one's probably the worst of the four. But it does have very high heights. So it opens up with the song Blown, which is sung by Tim. I'm gonna need my glasses for this. Sorry. So this is it's a bit of a catchy track. I kind of like it. It's one of the two or three top songs on the album, I think. Bit of a boogie sound to it, I think, but very poppy with some heavy guitars, and of course Tim's vocals are easily distinguishable. He's not as mellow sounding as Randy. I mean, he's not nearly as harsh sounding as C.F. Turner. It's kind of a medium range, kind of an indiscriminate voice, I guess you might want to call it. So I did like this. This is one of the tracks, probably the top three tracks on the album. This is one of them. Next up is Welcome Home. First song on the album sung by Randy. And of course, Randy has a much mellower sounding voice than either Tim or Randy, or Fred. It's kind of an acoustic guitar opening. It's a bit thin sounding at points on the song. Not terrible, but there's a little bit of that thin sounding. Not as much background as you would like to have. It does go intermittently between, I'm just going to close that off because it's distracting me. It does go intermittently between this kind of soft, rocky feel to this heavy riffing part, and then back to the soft, and then back to the riffing. So it's back and forth. Kind of a little bit like the song Rock Is My Life and This Is My Song, but that's a much better song than this one. It's still not a bad song. I gave this one a pretty good mark, I think. The next track up, Stone Gates. This is the first vocal song by Fred. It's a pretty decent track, I would say. A bit bluesy, kind of rock at points, but a little bit more bluesy than maybe the first two tracks. But it does kind of ramble a bit towards the end of the song. This is the first kind of track on the album that I didn't really like, and I never gave it a passing mark. But it's not a terrible song, but it's just not that great either. The next song up is Let It Ride. sung by Fred. This is not only the best track on this album, it may be one of the two or three very best BTO songs. For many years, it was my favorite BTO song. It's kind of fist pumping, heavy, beefy, um, just really gritty guitar sound. And Fred is singing his gravelly voice at his best here. The lyrics are great. The song is catchy as hell. Um, just in a magnificent song. There's nothing more considered. It's probably their, at this point in time, probably their biggest hit at that point. To me, it was. Obviously, we'll get to a little bit more here as we go along. But yeah, I definitely love this song. It's one of my favorites. Next up is Give It Time. This is a Fred vocal song as well, so he sings like three in a row. This would have been on the flip side, though. Heavy overtones, hard rock and riff, pounding drums, gravelly voice, bluesy feel. The solo towards the end is really strong. This is one of their better songs on the album, too. I did like this one a fair bit. Next song is called Tramp. Another Randy vocal song. It's a bit quirky. It is a bit of a quirky kind of song. Makes these kind of round, strange, kind of roundy beats. I don't know how do you even describe it. I never really liked this track. To me, it's a weak track. Doesn't really get a pass here. Still, it's on this album, so I have to kind of talk about it a bit. Next up is the I Don't Have to Hide. This is the last track sung by Tim on the album. It's also, I think, his last track sung by BTO, as he was let go after this album for alcohol and drugs on tour, which was a big no-no with Randy. It's a bit of a slow, melodic rocker. The vocals are in that low range. Yeah, he has that Bachman sound to him, but you can tell the difference. Randy's is more upbeat, up-tempo, smoother, more pleasant sounding, whereas Tim is a little bit lower in the registry, not as good as sounding a voice. And this track is probably the worst track on the album. So they got 3 songs on the album that don't really pass, but the songs that do pass quite well. And then, of course, we have the final track on this album, which is Taking Care of Business, maybe their biggest track of all time. Huge hit. The biggest hit on this album, although it's not my particular favorite. I think the reason why I don't give this as high a mark is because I think it's overplayed, and I've kind of burned out on it. It kind of reminds me of Kiss's Rock and Roll All Night, The Party Every Day. I just never want to hear either of these tracks again, although I did listen to it today. Yeah, some real catchy riff. Randy's voice is fantastic on this. The piano addition to it is classic. The solo is really good. The whole song just reeks of anthem. Yeah, a great tune, but I just prefer not to hear it anymore. It's kind of tired of it. So that's it for Bachman Turner Overdrive 2, their second album. The last for Timmy here, as he was let go by the band and replaced by Blair Thornton on their next album, Not Fragile, and they soared to huge heights from that. But a decent album. Definitely, I would have given this like a high 2, even despite some of the weaker tracks on the album. I think the strong tracks on the album plus the mediocre tracks or the good tracks on the album brings this up enough that you'd have to give it at least a 2, and therefore a classic rock album. So I hope you've liked this episode. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to make comments about BTO2 or about Bachman Turner Overdrive in general, you can do that. If you want to call them Bachman, that's fine with me as well. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. And we will see you next Monday night for another look back at another classic rock album. Take care and goodbye.